Live. I am so excited that we are here today. And today, I have a feeling there's going to be a lot more people joining than usual because, in case you didn't know, one of my TikToks went viral. We are at over 2 million. And I'm welcoming anyone who hasn't heard our lives before. Welcome to the Game Changer team. So today we're talking about something called metabolism. Ever heard of it? Yeah, of course you did. You always hear phrases like, my metabolism is so slow. I can't even look at a donut and then gain weight. I hear people say, my sister's metabolism is fast. She can eat anything, but I can't eat anything. My metabolism is slow. As you age, your metabolism gets slower, right? These are sentences that you hear. Maybe you say them and you're familiar with them. And we use this word metabolism all the time, but do we really know what it means? And once we know what it means, do we know how we can affect our metabolism, make it faster, make it slower? What's going on? What's metabolism all about? How can you boost the metabolism? That's what today's episode is all about. Before we start, I always like to let you know how you can reach me and my team, because that's always a question. So if you're watching us right now on Facebook, not only do I want you to write the word live, but ask questions. This is a great time to just ask me a question. I'll look at it at the end, or maybe, I'll message you after, but ask your question, whatever comes to mind, even if it's off topic. This is your time to shine. And if you're watching us on replay, type the word replay so that we know you're here. But then also ask your question here. Don't be shy. This might be a question that a lot of people are asking, and I can answer it right here, and other people can benefit from the question. So there's no such thing as a bad question. Let's hear it. Let's see what you have to say. Wherever you're watching it, type the word change. So that will let us know that you want the show notes, and my team will send it to you. If you're watching me on YouTube, hi. Thanks for being on the channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you're listening to me on the podcast, you're not missing much. I'm wearing a white shirt today. Always have my wife's red stethoscope on that she bought for me. And my hair is looking a little funky today. It has an extra wave on top. So you're missing that on the podcast. But other than that, all the information is the same. So enjoy it on any platform. Wherever you are, follow us on Instagram because we're funny. And it's a great way to private message us as well. And share this with the people that you love. Let them become the game changers in their life and let them start feeling better. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Efrat Lamondre. Everyone calls me E or Dr. E, and I invented the new method where we empower people to realize that their symptoms are not in their head. I know you've heard that a lot of times, but they're not in your head. That's what we're here for. So join the conversation wherever you are. Chat, ask your questions. Whatever platform you're on, we will answer. So let's jump in and talk about metabolism. So metabolism, let's get a little technical. I always like to start with definitions so we're all on the same page. So metabolism basically refers to a chemical metabolic process that takes place as your body converts into energy. So it's basically the process in your body that takes the calories from food and turns it into energy. The body. It's your way your body uses food to gas up the tank. That's what metabolism is. Okay. You take the food and you turn it into fuel. That process, metabolism. That's the whole thing. And then there's another technical term, which I just think put out there, called basal metabolic rate, BMR. And that basically refers to the minimum number of calories that your body needs to just stay alive. It's like even when you're sleeping, even when you're resting, you are actually burning calories. I'm sure you've all know this. So just to stay alive at your resting rate, there is a minimum number of calories that you need. That's called the BMR, the basal metabolic rate. And it varies person to person and it shifts throughout your life. And that's something that we want to see how we can alter that if we want to. Okay, so we know a little bit what metabolism is. It turns our food into fuel. And we talked a little bit about BMR, which kind of sort of has to do with calories. And I'm sure that you've heard that the way to lose weight is all about calories. It's a numbers game. Calories in minus calories out. And in general, if that's true, then if you just need, if you need 2,000 calories to stay alive, but you eat 1,900 calories, you should just lose weight. It should be as simple as that. I need 2,000. I ate 1900, that subtract 100, I'm in deficit, I should lose weight, right? It should be that simple. And in fact, that's what most people tell you. Your doctors will tell you this. A lot of nutritionists will tell you this. The ADA will tell you this. You hear it from a lot of food industry experts. Calories in minus calories out. It should be that easy, but you know for a fact that it's not that simple. And I'm sure many of you have tried calorie restricted diets and it didn't work. So why is that? Why is it? Why is it as simple as everybody makes it out to be? Because metabolism is more than just a calorie count. Okay. So think about it. If it was just a calorie count, if that's all it is, then 100 calories of sugar should be exactly the same as 100 calories of broccoli. And you know intuitively that that's not right. It cannot be that 100 calories of sugar is the same exact thing as 100 calories of broccoli. So you know it, you may not know the reason behind it, but you know that that can't be true. So just already you're starting to understand that it cannot just be a calorie game. Now, granted, if you take in a laboratory, if you put in a lab and you want to test and you take 1,000 calories of soda and 1,000 calories of broccoli and you measure it in a lab with nothing else, you will release the same amount of energy. So in that respect, we are equal. But in real life, outside of the lab, it doesn't work that way. And that's because food is not just about calories. Food is about information. It tells your body what to do. And because food is information, not all calories are equal. Food is not just about calories. It's a set of instructions. It's a code that regulates what goes on in the body. It's a whole new way of thinking of food. So what we really have to do is drill down and talk about what is this information that our food is giving to us and how does that affect our body? If not all food is the same, it's just like if you have a fancy sports car. I don't have one. I'm just imagining. But if you do, I would imagine you wouldn't put in low grade fuel. You would put the best fuel in because you know that not all fuel is the same. And if you put in low grade fuel, you could tell I'm not really much of a car person, but you know that it wouldn't perform as well. And there's another thing, another myth I want to dispel. So we dispelled kind of the calorie myth and we'll get more into it. But there's another myth I want to dispel, and that is there's a general rule of thumb that metabolism slows down as we age. And to a certain degree, that's correct. But utilizing the right food, we could actually change the rate. We could change it for better and we could change it for worse, which is why talking about calories is not enough. And instead, we have to talk about the information that the food is giving us. There's a whole world of science called nutrigenomics. And that is the conversation of how nutrition affects your genes. It literally turns genes on and off. So by feeding you right information, feeding you the right food, you could turn off genes that can cause disease, turn off genes that lead to obesity, diabetes, Alzheimer's, and turn on the genes that lead to health, right? So I'm hoping you're beginning to understand that it's way more than just calories. It's all about this information. The quality of our food affects our microbiome. Hello, if you don't know what a microbiome is yet, please watch one of my many episodes on microbiome. I'll talk about it a little bit more today. It affects our hormones. It affects our inflammation. It affects our mitochondria. I'll explain what that is as well. It basically affects our metabolism and our weight, not the calories. The information is what affects our metabolism and our weight. I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again now with this new information that you have at hand. Food is medicine. It's medicine that you take 3 times a day or more, depending how often you eat. So it's critical that you put in the right medicine with the right information into your body, the right type of calories, the right type of micronutrients and macronutrients. Let's talk about that. Let's dive into that. So there's this thing called macronutrients, fancy word for basically protein, fat, carbs, right? Just like macro, meaning on top, like your basic kind of groups. We have to choose the right kind. I'm just going to give you some examples so you get a sense of why calories are not equal. If you eat steak from a grass-fed cow or a wild animal, it's not the same as eating a burger from McDonald's, even though they're both proteins. If you eat Carbohydrate from high fructose corn syrup, like a lollipop or cotton candy. It's not the same as a carb from asparagus, right? It's clear, even though they might be the same calories. If your food has phytochemicals, which is the colors of the rainbow found in the fruits and in your vegetables, it's not the same as a food with coloring, like food processed colorings, right? So they're not the same, even though the calories might be the same. If you eat fat from Crisco or from fried French fries, it's not the same as fat from omega-3. So calorie for calorie, they will not have the same effect on your body. It's going to be completely different. And if you're eating starch and sugar, which is kind of like the baseline of the standard American diet, you're basically triggering all the wrong messages, which literally slows down your metabolism. Did you know that when you eat a bagel, you're actually slowing your metabolism down, right? Which people don't realize. So you're eating a bagel, you're like, well, whatever. I have no idea how many calories a bagel is, so don't kill me for this. But it's 200 calories. It's fine. I'll just eat 200 calories. But what you've done when you eat that bagel is you slow down your metabolism. On the other hand, if you eat the same amount of calories of a high quality fat, like an MCT oil or olive oil, you're actually speeding up your metabolism. So the same amount of calories, one's going to slow it down, one's going to raise it up. There was a study that was done with two groups of people who were in the overweight category. One was given high carb, but healthy high carb and low fat. And the other was given high fat and very low starch. Okay. Very low starch, very low sugar, very low carbs. And they measured their metabolism, their metabolic rate. And they measured how many calories they burned. The ones with the high fat, low carb diet burned 400 calories more a day, even though they had the same amount of calories as the other group. Just by eating, changing the type of calories, they burned 400 calories a day. Everything else was the same. So now if you multiply that by a week, 7 days, that's 2,800 calories in a week that they burn more. And you need about 3,500 burned a week to lose a pound. So you could see that even though both groups ate the same amount of calories, the fact that one had a different type of calorie allowed them to actually burn more and increase their metabolic rate and lose the weight. So I think I've said it 1,000 times, but hopefully I'm driving the point home that the quality of the calorie matters. Let me tell you why it matters. First of all, it affects your microbiome. Oh my God, I just realized this entire time I'm talking, I did not change a single thing on my screen. I do this every time. Okay, for those of you watching, I'm catching up. I'm over here now. Okay, for those of you on podcast, it doesn't matter. I just can't, I always forget this part. Sorry. Sorry to my mentor who taught me how to do these. I've never gotten it right. Okay, so it affects your microbiome. Again, quick recap for those of you who don't know, microbiome is the world that lives inside your belly. It has good bacteria. It has bad bacteria. It is really important that you get a good balance. And the good bacteria are actually in charge of communicating to your brain, affecting your hormones, influences your immune system. They don't just live there. They actually are part of you, and they actually are part of the processes of all the things that are happening. And if you have too much bad bacteria, they're going to mess you up. Getting your microbiome right actually regulates your metabolism, helps you metabolize lipids. It helps you manage your glucose. So it's critical that we feed the microbiome the right food. We feed these bacteria the right food so that your microbiome stays healthy. Okay. So it's just like having a pet. You want to feed your pet the best kind of food. So you have like 1,000,000 trillion pets inside your stomach, and you have to feed them right if you want them to behave properly. So let me give you an example. I've never said that before, and now I feel like I have pets inside my stomach. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but I'm going with it. I started, I'm sticking to the metaphor. So there is a particular bacteria called Akkermansia or Akkermansia. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I can spell it for you. It's right here on the screen. And it turns out that this bacteria is so critical to weight loss. Having it in your microbiome is so critical to weight loss. They did a study in China of 10,000 people who are in the overweight to obese category, and they discovered that the people in the overweight and obese category did not have this bacteria in the microbiome. But the people who were thinner, leaner, with lean body mass, with low body fat, actually had more of this bacteria inside of them. It turns out that this bacteria is like a conductor for metabolism. It helps increase your metabolic rate and fat regulation and glucose control. So this is one example of one bacteria, and we have like 39 trillion bacteria inside of us, of one bacteria that we have to make sure gets fed. And the food that it likes is pomegranate juice, grapes, cranberries, and it needs this type of food to feed this kind of bacteria. So you could see that if you're going to have, a diet full of high fructose corn syrup, you're not going to feed this bacteria. You're not going to have this bacteria grow inside your belly, which will affect your metabolism. So what we feed the bacteria in our belly will have a direct effect on our metabolism. What you eat also affects your insulin levels, right? We talked about microbiome. It also affects your insulin levels. So the most important hormone for weight, it's not estrogen, it's not testosterone, it's insulin. Making sure that you eat the right food to make sure that your insulin stays level is critical to weight management and metabolism. So eating whole plant-based foods, nuts, legumes, healthy oils, all these natural chemicals that are found inside fruits and vegetables, they help make our cells sensitive to insulin and absorb energy. So they improve our insulin sensitivity. We don't want to be insulin resistant. So again, eating 100 calories of sugar will not have a good effect on your insulin levels versus 100 calories of broccoli. Do you see where I'm going with this? I know I'm beating this point to death, but it's so important. It's so eye-opening. The next thing I want to talk about is mitochondria. So mitochondria are these little tiny factories inside of you, and they actually make your energy. Every cell in the body has hundreds of thousands of mitochondria, and they basically convert the oxygen and the food and turn it into energy. That whole metabolism happens inside this factory. And that's how you fuel your body and where metabolism happens. So if mitochondria are working well, you'll have a great metabolism. Conversely, if your mitochondria are sluggish and damaged, your metabolism will suffer. So again, your mission in life is to make sure that your mitochondria are happy. And the greatest damage to mitochondria comes from our diet. When we eat lots of sugary, processed, inflammatory foods, refined oils, or we just eat too much, we overload these mitochondria and they become damaged. And once they're damaged, they won't perform as well, and your metabolism will suffer. So to optimize your mitochondria and optimize your metabolism, you need to eat the right food. So what's the right food? I'm going to put it up here on the screen for those of you who are watching. The right food is eat healthy fats, a lot of healthy fats, omega-3, avocado, nuts, seeds, wild fatty fish, if you are someone who eats animal protein. This is your mitochondria's preferred source of fuel. Eat the rainbow, not Skittles, not M&Ms, fresh fruit and veggies. Go into the grocery store and choose things with colors. Even if it's things you're not comfortable with, you don't know how to cook, just try it. You need the colors of the rainbow on your plate. Avoid sugar and flour whenever possible. A high glycemic, high carb food puts so much stress on your mitochondria, which will mess with your metabolism. Move more and move faster. Whatever that means for you. So for some people, that means running 5 miles a day. God bless you. And for some people, it just means getting to the stop sign. And the next day, getting to the stop sign faster. Whatever it is, just do more of it and do it a little faster every day. That's all. Okay, just do a little bit. I want to encourage those of you who are listening, who are not sure how to start, just start. Just start wherever you are. It's fine. It's 100% fine. And then there's, of course, some nutrient supplements that I love. But remember, supplements for me are always in addition to the diet and nutrition, not instead of. So CoQ10, love CoQ10. Alpha lipoic acid, super antioxidant. NAC, which becomes glutathione, which is magic. B complex vitamins and omega-3 fats. You also have to get sleep. You have to sleep. Sleep and nutrition, it's not like one is more important. They're exactly the same. You have to sleep. If you don't sleep enough, you'll be inflamed, you are increased for disease, and your metabolism will slow down. You need to sleep. So here's what I want to empower you with. I have so many patients who come in and say, I've tried everything and I can't lose weight. And one of the reasons is because they do calorie restrictions, but they don't talk about or think about the quality of the foods that they eat and the messages that that is sending our body. I want to empower you over your health and your metabolism. I don't want you to feel that you're a victim to it, because there are things that you can do right now, today, to help your metabolism wake up and start moving. And as always, if you want to work with us, you just find us on pretty much any platform except for Twitter, because I talk too much. At The New Method, new is spelled with a K. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, obviously TikTok. Wherever you are, find us. Let us know you want to work with us, or thenewmethod.com. And we want to empower you to become the game changer in your life, because you always knew there was a better way. I'll see you guys next week. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching my episode on how to boost your metabolism. Be sure to check out last week's video on PCOS, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys soon.